announce our live stream of going live with episode number 1 of our Inner Compass podcast and talk about this 30-day challenge that we've been doing. You've been seeing us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and we're doing this 30-day challenge and what this means for us and how it's helped us through this journey. This is 13 weeks of recording, and it's been absolutely amazing. There's no doubt about it. It's been absolutely amazing. So Scott, man, introduce yourself, tell the audience who you are, and let's get started, man.
Well, first of all, great to be here. Just really happy again to be here with you. And it's been nothing but fun. We've gone through a lot of ups and downs, just all the things we've talked about. And this 30-day challenge, it's been really a lot of the questions that you have to ask yourself and talk about, and that we've shared on all the social media channels and stuff, is just a lot of them make you reflect, and reflect back to gratitude and just all the good things that we have in our life. Like today was asking about, three things that, three traits that we see in other people that we like to see, and pick one and do, focus on it. And so today mine was listening, integrity, and people that are genuine. And that's why we're friends, just because you're a very genuine person. You listen, you have integrity, and the main thing I was focusing on is listening, because sometimes my wife tells me that I finish her sentences, and usually I say something completely different, but I like to think that I finish strong with something even better.
You're constant improvement person.
She thinks otherwise. But we all have the right for our opinion and stuff.
That's right. That's right.
So I've said, well, I need to focus more on listening, because then I can focus more on being present on what other people are doing and why people are there with me. And listening is such a powerful skill that the best leaders in the world, they listen. And that's how they get to know everyone, and they focus on being present and listening to other people.
Anytime I've ever heard of somebody, and I like to call it active listening, and I think one of the guys that I looked up to, and he learned it from his father, was Nelson Mandela. When they would do meetings, number one, they would do meetings in a round setting. Like there was no person of authority. It was a round congregation or a round meeting table. And Nelson, got this from his father, will listen the entire meeting without speaking unless he was spoken to. And mostly it's because he doesn't want to formulate an opinion or steer a conversation outside what his team probably prepared for or his tribe. So I've adapted the exact same thing in my leadership of businesses and everything else, because what I'm doing is that I'm actively listening and understanding every person's place that they're coming from. At the same time, I take all of their ideas and I'm combining them together. And then when it's time to speak, I say, so let me repeat this back to you. Your idea is that you have improved the conversation with your wife and came out with a better outcome. And maybe that could be true. And you also believe your opinions are, you're right in your opinion.
Yeah.
And then you come up with a really, really good game plan from that, because you're able to understand everybody got out what they wanted to get out in the meeting. And it wasn't manipulated by somebody else's thoughts or steered a different direction. And then you come in with, how can we put this all together? How can we frame it and put it all together? And I think that's really powerful to have, number one, the patience and the restraint to sit back and listen. And man, I'll tell you, it's something powerful when you have a conversation with another person like we've had. And the person's listening when they have the ability to repeat it back to you in their own words, and it's not far off from what they were talking about. And man, that really means a lot, to feel like you've been heard.
Yeah. I mean, people want to be heard, and people want to, especially when you're in a meeting or a large group setting and someone maybe has a grievance or something, and maybe you don't have a solution to it. But if you
Hmm.
listen to them and then kind of repeat it back to them and start talking to them, they're going to feel a lot better no matter how dire the situation may feel, because they know that you listened and you actually heard what they said. And then you can kind of start to formulate, like, okay, what does this person really need out of this? Then maybe they just need to actually have somebody listen to them. Maybe the problem's not as big of a problem to them now because somebody understands where they are. They're empathetic to their situation, which when you listen, you can end up in a place of empathy where you can actually understand where people are coming from. Where if you're listening, if you're talking over them and everything else, they're not going to feel heard, and it's going to be kind of a lack of respect and kind of demeaning to them a little bit by you know talking over someone. But if you listen to them, that will develop a deeper connection, a deeper relationship that and that's what we're all looking for, is deeper relationships, stronger relationships. And it starts by listening.
Yes, it does. It's I agree with you that sometimes it's demeaning that, you don't feel heard. Like, why would you
Mm-hmm.
continue to talk if you feel like you're being interrupted, you're finishing somebody's sentences, or uh, sorry, I seen an
No, nailed
opportunity.
it. Nailed it.
See, I was listening. I was
Yeah,
listening.
I know.
Uh,
Hopefully someone else is not listening.
and from that, I think it really you welcome that person's phone call. You're willing to stay on the phone longer with them when you feel like you're being heard, and when you know for a fact that the person cares on the other end of the
Mm-hmm.
line, like they're listening to you. And I have to say that it's day 12, right? And at
Yes.
day 12, it is identifying those three qualities that you admire in others. And one of mine is my first mentor, that was really a game changer to me. And and he tells me now, because I've learned with him, active listening. He always says, Eddie, you're a good listener. And what that means is that I'm good at listening and understanding and providing good solid feedback, and it's meaningful conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I have confidence in the ability to take a pause and to let what somebody just said to me sink in for a minute and go, hmm, I think you're right,
Mm-hmm.
and give that positive thing. And for me, the number two is integrity. And I've adapted this in my life way, way when I was a younger kid. But integrity, man, is everything. It's so powerful to know that no matter what I entrust you with, no matter what I allow you to steward with me, that I can trust you. And no matter where you are in the world, I know that even though I'm not there to look, it's safe with you. Whether it's my
Mm-hmm.
secret, whether it's my money, whether it's my deals, my family, it's good with Scott. I ain't got to
Mm-hmm.
worry about it. So I think that number one is definitely an active listening state, and then being a good listener. Number two is definitely integrity. And I think number three has to be, and it kind of goes along with it, is that being genuine.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that if I meet you in the supermarket, if I meet you at the gas station, I'm trying to give you some washer fluid because I'm a generous guy. It's just being genuine is super important. It really is super important.
Yeah, it really is, because I know that whether I see you here or there or wherever, I know it's going to be the same thing. And chances are, when people become good friends and stuff, it's whether you're talking about what or years have passed or only a few days, you pick up right where you left off.
Yeah.
It's like no time has passed. It's like we were
Yep.
just hanging out 10 minutes ago, or it's 10 years,
Yeah.
and that getting back to the integrity piece, it's if you're doing the same thing, whether people are watching or not, that's true integrity.
Yeah.
You're not trying to be somebody else in front of everyone and then being somebody else at home. You're the same thing. Like you always say, how I do one thing is how I do everything.
Oh man,
Because
that's
that,
it. And that's because I feel like I can't, it's eluding me right now, but if you're going to do, if how you do anything is how you're going to do everything, I think also if you're going to do anything, you should adapt greatness into your steps because at the end of the day, let's be honest, man, somebody could be looking. So why not do a
mm-hmm.
good job the first time?
Yeah, and it's true nowadays, especially with the whole social media and everything, and people are doing a lot of different things all over the place. And
Mm-hmm.
if you were trying to get away with something, you probably can't because immediately there's 20 cameras coming out.
Right.
Um, so you know, life gets a little less complicated when you're just yourself all the time and you're not
That's right.
trying to be anybody else because it's very it's a very simple construct that just be who you are, be genuine, have integrity, and listen. And it's three things that will really have a big impact on what you're doing.
Absolutely. So let's talk about this 30-day challenge and some of the ways that it's really helped us. I mean, this last 13 weeks has been absolutely amazing recording these podcasts together. I mean, this all started as we were at a conference and
That's right.
you had this urge to do more.
Yeah.
And I also said, you know what? I have an urge to do more. How do we serve? How do we do this to help other people? And we said, hey, why don't we do, I don't know, what was it, like 4 or 5 weeks or
Yeah.
6 or 7 recordings? And now we're here at 13.
Yeah, no, it all started when I think I was on your podcast and you're on mine. And every time we went over, and we were originally supposed to be talking about real estate and stuff, but I don't think we even talked about it at all.
Yeah.
We were talking about mindset and everything. And this, it's each time we have a conversation, I get so much out of it. And a lot of times, like throughout the week, when I reflect on it, it's like something like that gave meaning to what I was doing. And I know we've had this conversation before, that I know a lot of the conversations we had, I wish that my younger self would have heard
Mm,
and actually listened to, because it brings a lot of things back that I should have learned this a long time ago, but I needed to learn it at a different time because the plan was set out to be something different. And
yeah.
so this 30-day challenge has even kind of went up another level because it's allowed more reflection, which
Yeah.
when we reflect and it brings a lot of gratitude. I know it has for me, just because I have to make a conscious effort to think about these things, like character traits I look for in people, and other things like that.
Yeah. Amen to that, man. Amen. So day number one, and this was really good. This was a great start. Day number one, write down 3 things you're grateful for. So Scott, what was those kind of things for you?
Those things for me was my family, and the all the people around me that I've met, that I've had an influence on my life, and that was number two. And then the people that I have yet to meet, and then number three was let's see, what was number three? Actually, I might have said it backwards. But number three was oh no, number three was all the people I've yet to meet that have an impact
Yep.
on me.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So for me, number one was my health, man. Like
Hmm.
my ability to get up and run, walk, exercise, create my better version of myself. The ability to do that is great. Um, my 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 faith and my family, and I think that was my three. That was just really for me was really my health, my faith, and my family, and I'm so grateful for that. And it's really been so good to take inventory of this stuff throughout this
Yeah.
journey. I think that was the best thing, was it brings it back to the surface, as you said.
Yeah, it kind of brings us back to our core why. Like, why are we doing any of these things? It's because of these three things.
Yeah.
These things that really drive us to be better. And that's what I got out of that question, because it just made me reflect on because when I got up in the morning, maybe that morning I wasn't really, I was a little fuzzy and kind of like, you know, here we go again,
Yeah.
just getting started. And then I started thinking about those things and I said, this is why I'm doing it. So then you get excited because like I get to do this, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. And then day two is reframe a recent challenge. I know both of us have had challenges in our life.
Yeah.
And what did you learn from it? And man, we have lots of challenges that we went over during this
Yeah.
time together. But what was the recent challenge for you?
Uh, I remember a recent challenge that I had, and I can't remember, but this is a challenge that I had, that was something that how I got into the yachts was that one year I'd lost my business, lost my job, and I ended up back in Jamaica. And then I got offered this job, and I didn't know where it was going to take me, or if it was going to take me at all. And it ended up, I took the job without having any experience, and then it ended up being a career that I never even knew about,
Yeah.
and that was a big challenge because that was negative everything, tens of thousands plus some. Can't even remember the amount, but it
I
was
also
reframed,
Yeah, I also remember you had a little bit of a power struggle in one of the conversations you had had with a customer,
Oh, yes.
and you had really reframed from the way your younger
Oh,
self
that's
would have
right.
responded to that.
Yes, I do remember that because had I reacted where the younger self would have, it would have went completely sideways, but as if it didn't already. But
Yeah,
there's no sense in both of us. But the older me didn't feel that there was any resolve in me adding more energy into this, so I
yeah,
took a step back, and
yep.
that was the right thing to do. Was the best thing that you know for the team and for everybody and for myself, because taking that step back and just saying, hey, there's nothing more I can do here, we're done here. And then actually it was easier to walk away and just say, okay, we're done here.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of peace in that when you know that you did everything you were supposed to do, and you're walking away with a piece of, you know what, I've done everything in my power, and I can walk away with this, as that's with saying I have no regrets. I'm not going to revisit this conversation later and say, man, I wish I'd have said this different. I wish I would have done
Yeah.
a little more. You're walking away with just pure clarity to say, you know what, I did everything I can do,
Yeah.
and that's it, and that's all.
Yeah. That's all she wrote, because I can't do any more.
Right, right. So for me, this has really been a time. This year has brought its own challenges for sure, and some of them have been pretty tremendous. Like, I've had some great conversations with even um, some of my friends that and have encouraged me, Eddie, you should react to what's going on differently. You should
Hmm.
most likely, um, maybe think about a legal pursuit or something like
Yeah.
that. And even my very wise attorney was the one that helped me kind of say, Eddie, I'm really proud of you for your maturity to not react in an immature way. And then at the same time, you've thought about what the damages are, and you've thought about what the damages could be. And at the same time, you understand that there's no ROI in the fight.
Yeah.
There's no ROI and no return on investment for you putting up a fight, because the outcome's not going to be any different. It's actually going to be
Yeah.
worse. And I think that that's the biggest thing. If I was to give wisdom, it would be, if you're about to reframe a challenge or think about a recent challenge and how you would react different in the future, would be, what did you learn from the one that when you were younger? And then how will you respond in the future? And I would respond with more maturity to say, look, there's no ROI in screaming at each other. There's no ROI in blasting each other on social
Hmm.
media. At the end of the day, look, if this is the way you feel, this is the way I feel, and there's no resolve, then there's no resolve. Let's how do we move past it? Because tomorrow's not promised, so why are we fretting on today?
Yeah, and it's just one of those things where, if you have to prove that you're right, you're going to end up being wrong.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So I really like day three because day three is visualizing your best self for 5 minutes. And I got to tell you, on this particular day, I had so many things up here in the think tank,
Hmm.
and 5 minutes was a long time. Like my
Yeah.
brain moves very fast,
Me
and
too.
you want to jump on Facebook, you want to do all these different things, you want to answer the
Yeah.
phone call, switch the music, whatever. But to take that 5 minutes and really take the whole 5 minutes and visual, I had to do two takes, right? So I had to like, oh, take two and take three. Well, take three, I nailed it. It was that 5 minutes. Like I was fully visualizing my future best self.
Nice. Yeah, I know with this one because I do a lot of breath work, meditation, kind of prayer, if you may call it that as well. It depends on yourself, but I sit there every morning after I do my breath work and try to sit as still as possible for as long as possible because I know, same like you, my brain goes. I get up sometimes and it's 1,000 miles an hour. And
Yep.
because I remember my mom saying when she woke up she still wakes up, I think at 4 in the morning all the time. And I think that was because that was her only quiet time with
Yeah.
six plus kids in the house all the time. She
Yeah.
she said, "Once I'm up, I'm up," and I was just like, "Once I'm up, I'm on." The switch goes on, and it's full, pedal to the metal,
Yeah.
and it's
Mhm.
it's it's to be quiet and then think about just kind of going quiet and then thinking about your future self and stuff. So, I know I thought about a lot of the scenarios and I got really happy.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Um, I think really happy was definitely the word for it. It framed it well because at the end of the day, you should be excited about your future version of yourself. What the
Yeah.
best version? It's a better version than what you are today. So you
Yeah.
should be very excited if you're doing it correctly. So day number four is take a 20-minute walk in nature without your phone.
Hmm.
And this one was pretty easy for me because of where I live, and probably easy for you because of where you live. You got lots of
Yeah.
nature trails and stuff like that. It was really easy for me to just put the phone down and just listen and just soak it all in. And man, you hear so much when things get quiet.
Yeah, and like especially, and I know it's probably the same where you are. Where when you get up in the morning and you're walking and the sun's coming up, you see and hear everything come alive, and I get excited about that. That's like, well,
Mhm.
when we always say I'm just getting started, that's kind of what
Oh
it
yeah.
is. You feel the energy coming up, and it makes it easy. Like when I started doing that a while back, when I walk back from the gym and I'm done, I just kind of try to notice something different every walk. And
Hmm.
so sometimes there's a lot of little animals, rabbits, turtles, and birds and stuff like that. And I haven't seen any gators yet, but I mean, it is Florida.
Well, I'm sure you'll see the other type of lizard, the iguana or something eventually.
Yeah, yeah. We have the little small lizard. Well, they're actually pretty big, multicolored one. I don't know what they call them,
Yeah.
but some type of lizard and stuff. And we have quite a few little things like that. And
Yeah.
it's just nice because it puts you in that relaxed mode. And then once you're relaxed, you're gonna make some good decisions.
Yeah. I know last time I was in, my wife and I were in Miami. There was tons of iguanas
Oh
everywhere.
yeah, they
I mean,
are
everywhere. They were in the
everywhere. They
trees.
are.
They were on the ground. They were everywhere.
When it froze one year when we were living in Fort Lauderdale, they were literally falling out of the trees, frozen. we'd hear him hit the shed, boom, and then two of them got into a fight on the transformer, and they blew out the whole city block.
That didn't end well.
No, it didn't for either
No,
one of them.
no.
No.
Well, that brings me to my next subject here is day number 5. Replace one negative input. So this would be news, social media, stuff like that, with a positive. So a podcast or a book. So I know on this current day, I was actually doing some traveling. And rather than listening to the radio, which I commonly don't, but on this particular day, it reminded me to find a podcast that was the length of my drive. And
Hmm.
that was the only thing that I listened to the entire time I was driving. And it was awesome.
Yeah, I did a similar thing. I was going to listen to like a podcast or something, and it might have been a Joe Rogan or something like that, but not that his is negative or anything. But then I said, well, let me put something in that I know is going to be very positive. So I put
Yep.
in Neville Goddard, and he was the law of attraction,
Oh,
and
you sent it to me. You sent it
yeah,
to me that
yeah, I
day.
sent it to you, and it was perfect because it was what I needed in that moment, and it was just about getting clear and just talking to myself in the right way and
Yep.
being in the right way.
Hmm. Day 6 was it was surreal for me. Um, it was write a thank you letter or thank you message to someone who impacted your life. And I was getting ready to leave for a diesel event, going to go visit a past life. And Jennifer says, my wife, she said, well, maybe you could write your thank you message between breakdowns.
Yeah.
Now there was no breakdowns that day at all. So it was pretty constant. And I did take time to write that thank you message, and I did get it sent in a text message. And the response back from the gentleman that I sent it to was absolutely amazing.
Hmm.
And it really helped to build that relationship even stronger. And that was really good to, sometimes there's been somebody that's had a real impact on your life, and they don't realize that they had such a great impact on your life. So
Hmm.
you writing that thank you letter or message really helps them say, wow, this is really cool that I had an impact on Eddie or Scott's life.
Yeah, I did that, and that person called me that evening and said, "Wow, I'm overwhelmed that And I said, "Well, you look, I'm where I am today because of you and your family. You guys took me in. Now you didn't have to,
Yeah.
some kid that literally stumbled off the airplane, had no idea what he's doing."
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it actually opened up to where I texted a few other people like that had an impact as well, and they had a very very kind words to say, which it was that's exponential happiness there because I'm hoping it made them feel as good as it did to me.
Oh, absolutely. So number 7 is use identity anchoring to complete I am the kind of person who.
Yeah.
And this one here left me with some thought, but um, I had to answer this one kind of spiritually. I said, man, I am a man of God. I am
Hmm.
a child of Christ. I'm a guy that just identifies with that. And that wasn't too far out of the norm, but it really did make sure that, because there was a time that my identity was tied to more of what I did.
Hmm.
I was a welder, a fabricator, a manager, a foreman, whatever. That's not your identity, and neither is being a
No,
business owner. Like
no.
being a family man, being a Christian, being a husband. Those are really worthy identities, in my opinion. And for anybody listening here on this live and in the future, if you are having troubles with really understanding who you are, if you kind of got lost, think about your identity. Who are you? And I'm telling you, you're way bigger than the bills you pay. You're way
Hmm.
bigger than the position. You being a husband, a father, a loving person to a spouse or a boyfriend or girlfriend, whoever, a special person, is way more important than identifying with I'm a supervisor of X factory with so
Yeah.
many people underneath me.
Yeah, and it resonated with me. I ended up going through a lot of I am scenarios, and that kind of brings me back to Neville Goddard. He always says phrase things in I am, because that it's words that come from God, and he was a very spiritual person. He said I am. Those are words that are divine words that you're supposed to say to yourself and to others, which I thought was kind of interesting. That kind of links up with what you were saying. And I said a whole range of things. I'm a great father. I'm a great husband. A lot of these other things, and it made me feel good because I know we've had this conversation where we say, "Hey, look back at what you've been doing, and look back and say, hey, Sky, you're doing pretty good, man. You've
Yeah.
done well. Look what you've
Yeah.
done." You know?
Yeah. That's another thing. I don't think it's probably a part of this 30-day challenge, but I would also encourage somebody to tell yourself, I'm doing a good job.
Yeah, I'm doing a good
You know?
job. When you, even if you just look over your shoulder and go, I'm doing a good job, and you look back, you're gonna feel this overwhelming feeling like, well, you relax, and then the next thing is not so hard.
Yes, absolutely. Day 8, flip the script, change I have to into I get to in your
Yeah,
self talk.
yeah,
Go for it.
yeah. Well, I did I have to, like, when I have to go back on the boat, it's like, well, I get to go back on the boat. I get to
Yeah.
be a yacht captain. I get to be involved with all these great people on the boat. I get to be involved in all these great real estate deals with great people. I get to be on this podcast with my friend Eddie Austin. I get to talk to amazing people. I get to live a happy, wonderful life. And it just keeps it builds you like another next level of confidence when you say that, because you say I get to do that. Like, when I said I get to go back on the boat, I was like, okay, yeah, this is I get to
Yeah.
do this. Not a lot of people get to do that.
Oh man, it's a dream job. I
Yeah.
mean, seriously, if it wasn't for the year's worth of training and everything else, and starting over, I would want your job. You know, it's pretty cool, like the things you've
Yeah.
seen and the things you do. And for me, it was pretty impactful, like overwhelming gratification for this one
Yeah.
because I got at that time of the day, it was like, man, I gotta do this and I gotta do that, and
Yeah.
even cleaning the house. Like, man, I got to clean the house. No, I get to clean the
Get to
house
clean the house because I
because
have a
at the end
house.
of the day, not everybody has a house to clean.
Yeah.
And think about that. Like, it helps you with some gratification to say, no, I get to do this. It means that I
Hmm.
have been entrusted with enough to steward a house and have things being worthy of taking care of.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool,
Yeah.
Doesn't
It
matter if you
really
have a
is.
little or you have a lot. How do you take care of it?
Yeah, and you get to clean the house because you've done all the work that goes into doing that, to getting to that point. So it goes back to also looking over and say, "Hey, look what I've. Hey, you're doing okay.
Doing okay.
Look what you did. Look what you
Yeah.
did. You know."
I love this one. Day 9 is journal about a past challenge and what are you now grateful for? And that that journal about that past challenge and what are you grateful for? I'm grateful for the lessons.
Hmm.
I've won a lot through my life and I've definitely had some tremendous losses, but I've learned more from the challenges that I didn't win. Like, it
Yes.
wasn't a challenge that I won. I won more lessons from that than I did from the winning consistently.
Yeah, I would agree and say the same thing, that and I'm still learning a lot more from the losses, because you're thinking about consciously about how do you not do that again. And
Yeah.
when the situation comes up, you're going to go, okay, all right, this is this again. Time to time to pivot a little bit, dodge, and or back away, and those lessons are really very strong. And the when you win, if you've done a lot of wins, they don't resonate as much, because the losses hurt. Everyone's quick to talk about their wins, especially on social media, but I bet that sting of failure, they can go through it detail by detail. They
Yeah.
remember exactly how it went. I know I
Oh
do.
yeah. There was times that we, throughout this journey of recording these podcasts, we've talked about some of our journeys. You could probably see a lot of emotion
Yeah,
in some of those hard origin stories that really hard to bring out some feelings.
yeah,
And let's be honest, man, that's when it gets real. Like there
yeah,
is nothing like being around other people and they're telling you their story and both of you get goosebumps.
yeah,
Like you can get the chills and you're like, oh man, thank you for sharing this, because you can see that emotion, you can feel it. That's when you
yeah,
know that they actually, there's no making that up, they
yeah.
lived it.
Yeah, and I remember one particular story I was telling you about. And we both got pretty choked up about it. Was that when an older gentleman was telling me, "Look, don't worry about working late and everything, because the only person that's going to realize that you worked late or remember that you worked late is your kids." And I
Mm.
remember that was when I walked away from certain what I thought were opportunities, and we both were like, "Yeah, we both kind of did that at
Oh,
one
we did,
point."
yeah, we
Yeah,
absolutely did, and it was
yeah.
a very painful time, and you can't
Yeah,
get it back.
no,
The
but
summers are over.
it brought us to a better place.
It did.
It brought us to a better place. So,
Yep.
no, thankful for that, and that's what we learned. We're both learning here together, so and that's
Yep.
why we do this.
I love number 10. Ask yourself, what if it works out better than you imagined, with a big question mark at the end. You had a great interview with Dr. Benjamin Hardy, and man, recite what his words were. I
His,
thought it was amazing.
yeah, and I've been saying it a lot to myself, and I write it and quote it just because it's an amazing saying. It says, "Don't think too small because you just might make it." And
Yeah.
that was a big part of my younger life. I thought too small because I didn't think maybe I deserved it, or maybe I just didn't wasn't exposed to it, or didn't have any idea. But this one resonated pretty well with me, because we always say, what's worst case scenario? What's the worst case scenario? Why not what's the best case scenario? What if this works out way better than we expected? Then when you start going through those, you start thinking about, hey, I can actually do this. This is there, rather than worst case scenario where you go in that defense mode where you're just trying to hold on to everything. Whereas where you're thinking of best case scenario, you're like this, how we always
Yeah.
say you
Yeah.
got to get up like this, and you take it all in like, well, it's coming. It's
Yeah. It's coming.
this is working out better than I anticipated.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. I know for me, man, it was, I think about the things that I did that was completely crazy. Everybody else said I shouldn't do this. And I was standing here like I'm about to receive some gifts. And, at the end of the day, it was really, really good, because if I would have thought smaller and it would have worked out, I'd have been very upset about the outcome, but I didn't. And it
Yeah,
didn't, it didn't work out exactly like I thought it would, because I was thinking so big,
yeah,
but I shot for the stars and I hit the moon.
yeah.
Nothing wrong with
Hey,
that.
moon's pretty far too. I
That's
mean,
right.
that's the thing. And I bet everybody that was around you was like, oh, he's actually doing. Oh, he did it.
He did it. He did it.
He did it. He's
He
going for
did it.
that.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
going for that. And that's one of the things. Like I said, don't think too small because you just might make it.
Yeah. Day number 11, meditate for 5 minutes, focusing on your breath. This was an easy one for you.
Yeah,
You do breath work all the time.
yeah,
For me, it was really good because I'm not a good meditator. And it's probably because I say I'm not a good meditator, but
yeah.
it was definitely different. But the breathing definitely got my blood full of oxygen, and it was
Hmm.
really good to breathe deep, breathe into the stomach, and it felt great.
Yeah, and it's something that it made me. This one, that what I got out of it is like, because I'd already done my breath work in the morning. It's like, I could be doing this like twice a day or 3 times a day if I want. Just take
Mhm.
5 minutes to give me that reset. Because sometimes middle of the day around lunchtime, I get that thing where I got to go sit down for a minute and just kind of sit there. And rather than just sitting there, I could just breathe again and just kind of come alive again, because it gives you a really good reset, especially if you focus on breathing through your nose and
Yes,
in and out your nose. It'll slow your brain down, and you'll start to see the angles and start to see the solutions.
absolutely, man. So we kind of already did a spoiler alert. We talked about day 12 here, but a day 12 is identify those three qualities you admire in other people and then embody one today. We've talked about that, man. These were some things that really helped me look at the people I look up to, how I embody those things in my own life. And it was really, really good. And I think that not just today, every day, you should start
Mm-hmm.
embodying those in your daily life.
Yeah, and it's just these little principles that bring you back to where that gratitude, and to where you actually need to be thankful for the people that we have in our life and the people that we're yet to meet that are going to have an impact. And by doing those things and just being grateful and having gratitude, you could be that person for somebody else.
Yes.
You might have smiled for somebody, or opened the door for them, or helped them pack their groceries, or even given them some windshield washer fluid that
That's
day. And
might
then
feel weird.
that might have there they might have been going to that job interview and they couldn't see the wind through the windshield,
Yeah.
and they got that washing fluid on time to that interview, got that job, got that contract. Eddie Austin changing lives with window washing fluid.
That needs to be a bumper sticker.
I'll make a shirt. Eddie
Yeah.
Austin changing lives with windshield.
Quarter jug at a time.
Quarter jug at a time.
And a bottle of windshield washer fluid.
Coming
Yeah.
soon to a gas station near you.
I love it, man. I love it. Billboard right next to Daryl Isaacs. Hold one in each hand.
Yeah, holding.
Yeah.
Oh,
So we're not going to spoil it for too many people, but I think we'll go to day 15 here and see if we can start a movement. And then we'll set up a way that you can download this or reach out to Scott and see if you can get a copy of this 30-day challenge. But day 13, so we're going to go to day 15. So tomorrow will be 13 for us. Create a done list of wins from the past week. So that's tomorrow. And then day 14, compliment a stranger or a colleague authentically. I'll repeat that again. Day 14. So what we're hoping for, guys, is that we see you picking this up and
yeah,
you're taking off. And if you start at day 13, that's okay.
yeah.
So number 14, though, is compliment a stranger or a colleague authentically. Be genuine. Don't be fake. Just don't do it because you're being asked to do it. Come on now, be
Yeah.
genuine.
Hey, looking great.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that doesn't
Day,
count.
and then day 15, listen to music that uplifts you, your energy, and your mood. Now, I'm going to make a strong suggestion here, and
Okay.
it's going to be biased. If you have not listened to Brandon Lake
Brandon
or ever
Lake.
heard of Brandon Lake, go check Brandon Lake out or Ben
Brandon
Fuller.
Lake. Ben Fuller. Brandon
And
Lake.
it's called Count 'em.
Count them.
And Brandon Lake, Count 'em. Search that on YouTube. I'm here to tell you, if that song don't turn you up, you might want to check your heartbeat.
Brandon Lake. Because I have never heard of these guys, but that's okay.
Let me make sure.
Brandon
But
Lake and Fuller. All right, send it to me, and then
yeah, so I'm gonna just look it up real quick, make sure I've got it right. Yep. So it's Brandon Lake, and it's called Count EM. So count them. And then the other one, man, that you would probably really like, that would probably hit you pretty hard. It did for me. is Brandon Lake, Daddy's DNA.
Brandon Lake, Daddy's DNA. All right, I'm gonna listen to those. And for me, I mostly what I listen to is reggae music. So there's
Mm-hmm.
one song that I started listening to a few years ago, and it kind of came on when a friend of mine had passed away, and I listen to it every time and think of him as Conqueror. Every day is a blessing, and it's if you don't get uplifted after that song, because I'm gonna spoil it at the end. There's actually kids singing and dancing at the end. So if you're upset by the end of it, you probably need to listen to it again.
I love it. I got it wrote down. I'm gonna take your advice on that one because I actually do. Uh, I think reggae music is really cool. And
Yeah,
it's uplifting. It's fun.
and a lot
I
of
can't
times
say
it
I haven't
has
seen.
a lot of times it has some religious undertones, which I know you resonate with very
Yeah,
very well.
absolutely. Yeah,
It's and it's for me also anything with like Shaggy and Sting, the two of them play well together. So
yeah,
I like those.
yeah,
They
yeah.
they they kind of you can tell they're having a great time when they're
Mhm.
when they're when they're when they're singing and stuff. And that's actually that song by Conqueror is probably one of my favorite all times, just because it came at a time when I was pretty low at that moment because my friend had just passed.
Yeah,
And so now whenever I hear it, I have great thoughts of him and things that you know that we were supposed to do, but now I'm doing it for both of us.
that's right. That's right. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is officially episode number 13. Going over 15 days of our 30-day challenge. And I got to say, this has been absolutely amazing. We hope that this resonates with you. And I got good news. Episode number 1 will be launching and on my podcast in about 10 minutes from now.
Okay, excellent,
So the first episode will be live on YouTube in about 10 minutes. So
perfect.
if you want to go listen to that, I know Scott, you're going to have yours out, going on all your channels.
Yeah,
And I couldn't wait to get it out. I wanted people to be able to watch something right after this episode.
that's a great idea. So I think we're gonna have to do the same. Do the
Yeah,
same.
yeah, just
We
rip it
probably
out there,
be
man. Turn it on. And because look, you got people that follow you, and I've got a different audience that follows me, and some of us mixed together,
yeah
and some people follow us on both channels, and it's great. It doesn't matter. I don't care if Scott gets a million more views than me. It doesn't. That's
yeah. It
not
doesn't
about the
matter to
number.
me. It doesn't matter to me as long as we're having a good time and we're having an impact. And
Yeah,
people, if one person says, "Hey, what you said to us, said to me that day, really helped me," then I think we're doing well because
you're doing really well.
um, that's what this is all about, and I would think maybe we go live again, maybe after when we finish the list,
Yeah, I think so. I think let's do day 30, and
day
let's go
30.
back up to where we stopped,
Yeah,
and really go into that because I think this was really good. And I can't thank you enough, Scott, for you encouraging me to make a commitment to doing this every week. And you got my calendar link, and every single week I always smile when I see Scott has booked another episode. And it's so much fun, man. Because
yeah,
I have grown so much, and this challenge really has made me just, I don't know that I can enjoy life much more, but it really has helped me see the things in the rear, the things I'm thankful for, and the things that I'm excited for in the future.
yeah. And for me, it's funny that you say that because I always smile whenever I click the link. I'm like, all right, we're doing it again, and then Friday rolls around with like Thursday. Sometimes I got a little bit of low energy. Then I get up Friday morning, like, all right, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's
And what do
go.
we always say? We're just
Just
getting
getting
started.
started. Yep.
Yeah.
And pretty soon you're going to see myself and Eddie. Eddie's going to be pointing at the name board on his 92 foot foot Viking, like this,
Yep.
just getting started.
It's getting started, man. Just
Just getting
getting started.
started.
That's the day because I know a lot of people. Let's kind of end the episode like this because I read a book the other day that was really impactful, and it was kind of the philosophy of money. And nobody's crazy. A lot of people feel that you see the person that because of the type of car they got out of, because of the way they're dressed, maybe their body odor or something. They don't have a lot of money, and they're buying a
Hmm.
lottery ticket. And us that are more frugal and are saving money to put fuel in the jet or any whatever we're
Yeah.
doing,
Yeah.
we're not buying lottery tickets.
No.
And for them, that's the glimmer of hope. When
Hmm.
when they're purchasing that lottery ticket, they don't feel like that they could probably get a better paying job. They're somewhat stuck in their own mind, and they're buying a lottery ticket because it gives them the hope. And let's
Yeah.
be honest, for us, it's a different kind, and they think we're crazy. So nobody's crazy. I want to just take that
Yeah.
off the menu. Nobody's crazy here. Like
Nobody's
the way
crazy.
you live your life, the way I live mine, the way the guy down the street lives, nobody's crazy. Everybody's got their reasons. And I would say stop comparing yourself
Yeah.
to the Instagram influencers, the people on Facebook. You really don't know how their life is behind closed doors.
No. Or
And
even.
I feel like we create our own suicide and our own mental health because
Hmm.
mental health is a real thing. It
It
really
is.
is a real thing. And I
Yeah.
think there should be more awareness about it. And I think there should
It,
be more people trying to help.
well, and definitely we need to talk, talk more about those things and just people, everybody has those times, and I was, been reading this book that resonates through a lot of different sectors. It's called The Unreasonable Hospitality. It's about a guy
Oh,
that the opened 11 Madison Park in New York City.
yeah.
He brought it from what was a fine dining restaurant to 5 star, and then 4 star Michelin star. And he talks about how he did it. And it was all about how he turned it around because it resonated with me pretty heavily because like on the yachts, we give the highest of high levels of service and we do go above and beyond. And then with a lot of these groups that I'm involved with now, we start thinking about it that, why aren't we giving the highest level of service for us to create that experience? Why am I not doing that for my guys? Like the mentality is we go above and beyond, and then we forget about all the people that made it, that made it happen. So I want
Mhm.
to turn that around. And what they did is they got to that higher level because they focused on the team and what they could do to celebrate with them. They came up with a lot of different things that made it better for them so that they could create an even better experience. So, and
Yes.
they focused on if people were having this mental health, because a fine dining restaurant is, especially the cooks and the line staff and the people in the dining room, they work very hard. It's a lot, it's long hours. And to
Yeah.
get something to a 4 and 5 star rating is really high, but I would recommend people check it out because I'm going to bring it to the boat and have everyone look at it. And I'm going to, you know, implement some of these things because we need to like focus more on like people need to know that we're a team and we're here for each other. And if things are happening that are not okay, we need to know about it. We need to have active leadership and active listening and watching to what people are doing so that we can all be better and see the signs where somebody's slipping or maybe in some turmoil or having some issues. And they did that all through helping and protecting and guiding each other. And
That's
I
awesome.
thought it was a great book. And, I would recommend anybody because it applies to every business really
Yep.
because you have to be empathetic to the person right next to you, and you have to be empathetic to everyone because you don't know what people are going through.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, thanks for that recommendation, Scott, because that's definitely something I'm going to be putting on my list to read that as well. Because I look up to that restaurant. I've never ate there, but I look forward to the day that we have enough time to go there
Yeah, that'd
next
be
time we're in
great.
the area. But man, it's I've listened to the stories, I've seen the food on TV shows. It's an
Yeah.
amazing place.
Yeah, it really is, and the guy, it's a very well written book, as it's in common language, like it doesn't have any jargon or anything that no one can understand. It's, because some people in a certain sector, they have their own language, but he
Oh yeah,
tells a great story, and like I could hardly put it down, but it's like, man, I got to go to sleep now, or I'm up in the morning. It's like I get to doing something else, like, because I
yeah,
give myself like 15 to 20 minutes in the morning to read. Sometimes it's like 30 minutes, and I'm like, oh man, I gotta get moving.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but highly recommended. But yeah, we need to protect each other, and if we're putting out that going above and beyond to give that highest level of service, but we need to go above and beyond for each other.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Well, man, where can everybody find you at?
Everyone can find me at investwithscottkid.com. It's got all my social media, all my stuff, and right away it's going to have the link to the podcast episode
That's
one.
right, man. That's right. So anybody here, Eddie Austin BEX on all social media platforms. You can also go to my website, eddieaustinbex.com. And there's a link to book a call with me or get involved with all the stuff that we do and see past podcasts that I've been on as a guest. And also, this will be on there as well as the Inner Compass episodes start to come out. We'll start stacking them up. So, man, we love each and every one of you guys. Scott, I absolutely love what you do, man. This has been a blessing. And I can't wait until episode 14.
Myself also, thank you so much. And I'm really happy to be here. It always makes me happy being here. I always get energized, and I wish everyone could have the same feelings that I get out of this, and the
Yeah.
same thoughts. And I hope that everyone enjoys it. And please feel free to reach out to us if you guys need anything. Glad to help. And we just hope you guys are having a great day, because we are as
Yeah.
well.
I'm gonna go with a little bit of an ending, and then you always end your videos a certain way. I absolutely love it.
Okay.
So everybody listening, please like, subscribe, share this with everybody that you can. Our heart was been called to serve. We wanted to help people in any way we could, and this was the best way we knew how at the moment. And we want you to be extraordinary in everything that you do. It means the little bit of extra. Go the extra mile, do the podcast, book the call, do what you got to do. Be extraordinary in everything you do in your journey. And Scott, I'm going to turn it over to you for the ending.
Well, thank you for that. This comes from my good friend Eddie Austin here. I'm Scott Kidd, and as a reminder, be clear, be grateful, and listen.
That's right. See y'all later.
See you guys.